Today I am collecting virtuoso concert pianist David Syme, and I'm driving him to a concert in Cork, which I'm filming. We started working together during the lockdowns. He wasn't able to have any public performances at home, so I helped to stream some performances for him, and since then we've been working together on all sorts of projects, and one of them is these regular concerts that he does in the Aula Maxima in UCC. I got back from the Westmeath hill climb last night about 12:30 with the van down into the last quarter, and I put it on charge at home, and I can see from the stats it was charged by about 8 o'clock this morning fully and ready for action again, so that's very convenient. You know, if you actually think about it, I couldn't have refueled it last night, and if I'd been leaving early this morning, that could be an inconvenience. So it is quite handy being able to refuel, recharge your car at home. I've got about 122 kilometers to do today, up to Cork with David, and then we'll make the return journey tonight. This journey has been getting quite tight in the Nissan Leaf. We would find ourselves having to restrict the use of the heater and to moderate our speed quite a bit on the journey up, and often choosing to take a fast charge on the way home, and taking a slightly longer route in doing that. So I'm hoping that the van will be able to do that more easily, and I'll just need one high power charge in Cork to top me up, ready for the return. I picked up David at home just after 1 o'clock, and we're on the way to Cork. And this is one of your music appreciation concerts you're doing today, David, isn't it?
Yes, it's part of a series that I've done since the fall, and also last year at the same time at UCC in Cork. And I really enjoy doing it. I get to talk about the music and play it.
And you're playing on quite a special piano there, aren't you?
Yes, it's a Rittmuller handmade 9'2" concert grand, and it retails for 220,000 euros.
And that was kind of donated to you for this project, wasn't it?
It's on a very long-term loan. It was donated by the Pearl River company that's based in China, and they have a brand, one of 3 main brands that they have, and this one is called Rittmuller, and it's in Göttingen, Germany, and it was sent here about a year and a half ago. I enjoy these trips tremendously.
And what's the topic of today's concert?
Well, each one of these sessions focuses on a particular piece of music or a composer. Today, the piece of music is called the Partita in C minor by Bach, and it was originally written for harpsichord.
We arrived at UCC after just over 120 kilometers, with almost exactly 50% battery left in the van. With 5 years experience driving EVs, I know I don't want to plan a journey ending at 0%. In fact, for looking after the battery condition, I like to stay above the final 20%. I've dropped David off, and he's going to warm up there before his concert. So I'm going to go and get a charge. Charged for about 43 minutes there, close to the maximum allowed, and then spent about €13.68 and bought 20 kilowatt hours of power. So I've gone to 90%, so I stayed a little while after it dropped off from the high speed charging, and I'm confident that'll get us home comfortably tonight and I won't need any top up. Meanwhile, I'm going back to the UCC Aula Maxima and I'm looking forward to recording David's concert. I made it back just before 11 o'clock at night with more than 25% of the battery left according to the analog gauge. The digital one looks a bit more conservative, saying there's just 50 kilometers of range left. I don't know if that's maybe to a point where there is actually still quite a margin left. I would feel quite comfortable on what the analog gauge is telling me. I think maybe I might do a trip on my own sometime, being a bit more adventurous down into the lower regions of the range and see really how far it can go. But I wouldn't do that with responsibilities to somebody else. The van did a really good job, I would say, of that 130k trip, charge, 130k back. The return journey being with only a 90% charge. I've actually subsequently done the exact same journey, taking just an 80% charge. But for this one, for example, it was a no compromise journey. I drove right close to the speed limits of 80k on the rural roads up, 100k where that was available, and even the 120 on the bypass around Cork. So that's I think a really fair assessment of it. It does this very competently. There actually are chargers at UCC and I just haven't signed up to those. They're not really useful to me with the Leaf because the Leaf charges too slow on that type of charger. I do need to go out to a rapid or a high power charger to get enough range back into that to go home. But the van, if they were able to charge at its 11 kilowatt on an AC charge, it would actually be topped up in the 2 hours that myself and David would be on campus. If it only does it at 7, it would be 3 hours, so we might need to take in a lunch or something like that. That would be at the outer regions of our time there. But even so, it might get enough in the 2 hours, even at that, to return home, maybe with a slightly compromised speed. The return journey that I did subsequently with the 80%, I would have probably not done the 120 on the South Link or the bypass around Cork. But otherwise, I would have driven totally normal, and I got home with a good range in the evening that time, also in cold and wet and rainy conditions. So my conclusion would be the van was less comfortable on the long journey, but I'm going to try another one of those, having had that experience of the Westmeath trip, which was around the 400k. I'm actually going to try something even much more extreme. But the conclusion would be that it does that sort of big county. Cork is the largest county in the country. It goes around. It can do county-wide trips very effectively.